On Wednesday, there was a special briefing at the White House attended by 100 members of the United States Senate. Every single one of them came. And the briefing related to the threat posed by North Korea and our possible response to that. We are closer to a nuclear war, that is to say, the use of nuclear weapons against civilian populations, than we've been since the Cuban Missile Crisis of '62 or the actual Nagasaki bombing of '45. The concept that the hawks are pushing is that we've got to stop North Korea from having the bomb, which they have now, and a capacity to miniaturize it enough to put it atop a ballistic missile and send it out to hit Japan, South Korea, or even the United States. The chilling thing about all this, though, is that even if we do interdict and stop their capacity to do that, even if we do undermine their ability to send stuff aloft in a ballistic missile, we can't stop them from shooting artillery shells. And you can reduce nuclear warheads to the size where they can be fired by long-range artillery. And Seoul is so close to the border of North Korea and South Korea that they can probably reach Seoul with a nuclear warhead from within their own territory. And there's nothing you can do to stop that. The focus needs to be on stopping ballistic missiles from remaining an effective offensive weapon in the world. And when Reagan articulated that vision called Star Wars, or Strategic Defense Initiative, it was a very difficult notion, both because of the nascent technology of lasers and also because of the magnitude of the problem. You had 12,000 warheads in the Soviet Union, and God knows how many in China. And it just wasn't feasible to be able to say you're going to destroy all of those missiles. But the success that Israel had in stopping every single missile that was fired from the Gaza Strip or the West Bank during the most recent war, hundreds and thousands of missiles, shows that you can stop missiles that have been launched from coming down in places where you don't want them to come down. It's feasible technologically. What the United States has now is a ground-based system that's fine for missiles from Russia, but it has nothing to do with North Korea. It's in the wrong place. They also have a sea-based missile program called the Aegis missiles, which are on top of carriers and other boats and can be sent off North Korea, and they sit there in the ocean. And when North Korea launches a missile, they launch an interceptor to try to shoot it down. And that can be effective, but it's not foolproof, because when the missile is in this trajectory, you can only reach it at the top of the arc or as it's coming down. But if you put a satellite in space and you have an interceptor missile on that satellite, they look down and they can see the North Korean missile as it's being launched, as it's slowly going off the launching pad. And they can kill it before it breaks the sound barrier, let alone goes into the atmosphere and comes back and hits its target. Once we eliminate the threat of a ballistic missile-carried nuclear weapon, you're left with weapons in suitcases and terrorists and stuff, and that's a big problem, but not an insurmountable one. Now, the reason the United States has not developed these space-based missile interceptors is that the liberals and the Democrats remember the days of the 1980s when Reagan proposed the Star Wars program. And that program was killed because it was seen as destabilizing. The reason it was destabilizing is if you had an effective missile defense, you could knock out the Russian missiles and you could do a first strike and wipe out Russia. So it was seen as an offensive weapon, and it was much better to have mad, mutually assured destruction, which effectively kept the peace. But now that's irrelevant. Now we're way past that. We want to stop all of these missiles from Iran or from North Korea or from whatever hitting our friends and perhaps hitting the United States. And because they don't have 12,000 warheads, at most they have 100, we can do it, and we can do it very effectively if we have a space-based munitions program. That is the key to solving this problem. It is absurd to go to war, to kill tens of thousands of people, to risk nuclear bombs being used in a war, when you can eliminate all of this by an effective space-based system. Thanks for watching.